So my favorite thing that we did while we were in Porto was taking a day trip to the Douro Valley. We took a train from Porto to Pinhal, which took about 2.5 hours. And we just spent the day there doing a couple wine tastings. We did a mini bus tour at Quinta das Carvalhas and did a couple port wine tastings there. And then we went to Quinta da Foz and did a tour and a wine tasting there as well. But the views were amazing, the weather was really nice, and it was just a really great change of scenery.
Yeah, just the train ride, right? There were lots of spectacular views just on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt long though.
I mean, 2.5 hours there and back, so it was a long time to spend on the train, but it was worth it.
What was your favorite part?
Well, mine's kind of a cop-out. I wouldn't say that I have like a favorite thing per se, but just walking around and exploring. I mean, the size of the city is like really ideal, at least where we are. There's lots to explore, and just walking around and seeing all the different bars and restaurants. And there were a bunch of times where we were just walking around and be like, oh, I want to try that, or I want to try that. And then, later in the trip, we ended up going to most of those places. I mean, there are a lot of places that we didn't go to that I would have loved to go to. There just wasn't enough time. And yeah, I mean, it's just a very walkable city, and I enjoyed all the exploration.
If I could do it all over again, one thing I would have done differently is I would have probably got a bus pass. I loved walking everywhere, and I walked pretty far. But
you walked to the beach like, what, 2 or 3 times?
Yeah.
It's like an hour walk.
Yeah, and it's really nice because it's right along the river, but I think there's times where, because I've seen that same view a couple times, it would have been nice to take a bus, and yeah, so that's one thing I probably would have done differently.
I mean, maybe done more of the nightlife thing like you were talking about earlier. We didn't really go out to any bars or anything like that. We ate out, at least once a week. And then we went out to lunch and stuff like that. But
yeah, we
didn't really go out like drinking or anything like that. We didn't really socialize with people or anything like that. Part of that is, we're trying to keep the budget under control. But I wish we would have done that maybe once or twice, just gone out and raged, you know what I mean? With the locals.
Okay, so if you're only here for a long weekend, I'd say 2 or 3 things I would do would be, 2 of them are food related. One would be to have a francesinha, which is the sandwich here that's very popular. And then I would definitely do a port wine tasting. I'm not a big fan of wine, but I actually really liked port. And the last thing I'd say is to go visit the Crystal Palace Gardens. It just is a really beautiful place, and you have great views of the river, and it's nice and shady. It's a nice place to spend the day.
Yeah, and I think probably you should definitely walk around the riverfront. I mean, that's the main touristy area, the Ribeira neighborhood. But the views are spectacular of the river, and the bridge is really cool. There's lots of cafes and stuff along the river that you can eat at, and it's definitely a cool place to walk around and take pictures and stuff. Next, there's this pastry that I really enjoy called the Pastel de nata, which is like a custard tart. There's lots of places where you can get them. But do some research and try to find a good place. They sell them everywhere, but some of them are better than others for sure. Have it with coffee if you like that kind of thing. They're really good. And then the last thing I would say is the Clarigos Tower, which is one of the oldest churches in the city. They have a big bell tower that you can climb with more really cool views of the city and stuff like that. So those are my main highlights, I think.